What's happening, Hot Wheelers? Joe Motor here. Got sort of a random haul of stuff that I've been picking up over the last week or so. Some from the store, some from a little flea market, and a couple of online purchases that I wanted to share with you. So it's kind of a random batch of stuff, a little bit of crack and yak and so forth. So anyway, I just wanted to share some of these models with you and do a little cracking and yakking. So first of all, I went to a little flea market and found quite a few interesting little pieces. Found these three from the Hot Wheels Vintage Racing series in the package. This is probably one of the best series that Hot Wheels ever put out. A lot of you are familiar with it, and these three castings aren't necessarily the most desirable. Dick Landy's Dodge Challenger, the Soxon Martin Duster, and then AJ Foyt's 65 Ford Mustang. These are getting harder and harder to find, so I hate to crack them open. I'm actually going to keep these two in the package. I may have them traded off, don't know for sure yet. But we're going to save those for later. But I am going to crack this Mustang open because it's going to look good in the display case. So here we go. And again, I think this series was probably one of the best that Hot Wheels ever put out. And I still am missing a few pieces from the whole set. And but one of these days I'll hopefully have the whole set loose in my collection. I usually like to find them loose. I don't really like to crack this series open as much anymore, but this one is not as hard to find, so I don't feel so bad about it. I like those thin Goodyear tires with the white hubs there on them, black interior, nice blue racing stripes, opening hood, some metal details in there, nice blacked out headlights and grille. Got the Fram logo here on the side, number 4. Just a cool piece. I'll add that to my Mustangs. I have a couple other white Mustangs in my display case that this will look good with, so I'm going to put that one there. And then speaking of vintage racing, there's this piece right here which I found loose. This is Mark Donohue's Sunoco Camaro, but this is not the vintage racing release. In fact, this came out a lot earlier in a series called the 100%. And if you collectors out there are probably familiar with that series, but if you're not, it was a series that came out and they released it in acrylic display cases and a lot of extra packaging that was really sort of unnecessary. But there are a lot of cool models in that series. Probably released late 90s, early 2000s or so, and this was one of them. And so it's different tooling, I think, than the Camaro that was released in the Vintage Racing series, but very similar decos. As you can see, the sort of baby blue color here with the Sunoco Camaro, Goodyear and Champion sponsor badges. Really nice piece here with the yellow wheels, the redded out headlights there, and then the hood does open on this piece, so you can see down in the chrome detailed motor there. Sort of seeing the interior too, some detail down in there. So this piece is somewhat desirable, and I don't have this one from the Vintage Racing series, so I'll be looking to acquire that one, hopefully loose. But here's the base, and this is where you can really tell it's different from the Vintage Racing series here, 69 Camaro. But very cool piece, so this will have to stand in for the time being. I love all the variations, especially in the Vintage Racing models, so glad to add this to the collection. And speaking of vintage, I found this little guy here. This is the Nissan 300ZX Ultra Hots. These are the original Ultra Hot wheels. These gold wheels are just fantastic. I mean, these cars, they bounce and they will roll for a mile if they're on a flat surface. Just incredible rolling capability here. And so nice banana yellow vehicle, all metal on metal with the yellow base. I'll show you the base really quick. And then the door actually opens on these, which is kind of cool. You don't see that very often anymore on Hot Wheels, that's for sure. So you can see inside the bucket seats and the steering wheel and the gear shift there, and some detail on the door on the other side there. I don't know if you can see that or not. My camera's being a little testy today. But really cool, these old JDM pieces before JDM kind of took over and became really popular in the States. I love these old Nissans and Datsuns and Mazdas that Hot Wheels was releasing back in the 80s. So that's a really cool piece, and happy to add that to the display case. And then another vintage piece I found at the flea market, this original Real Riders. This is I think a Dodge D50 truck, sort of a little camper dragster piece here, kind of custom made. And love the blue on this piece and the orange and yellow stripes. Dodge logo here on the back with the white camper. And there's a variation of this with the white hubs, which the guy actually had, but it was in bad condition, so I didn't take it. It is actually a high raker, just meaning that the back wheels sort of jack up like that. It's sort of weird, actually, but kind of an interesting little feature. And but this is just a beautiful piece. Love the color and the chrome detailing here. And I've been trying to collect all of the original Real Riders, at least loose, and taking my time with that. Still have a long way to go, but there's one to add to that little collection. And then I found an oddball piece here. This is actually a Jada, and this is a Ford Bronco, old like 69 or 70 Ford Bronco, something like that. And this is from a series called For Sale, and I think I've shown a piece from the For Sale series on my channel quite a while ago. In fact, I think I bought a Mazda RX-7 from the Jada For Sale series, and I think I sent it off to James Shear. I don't have it anymore, but when I got them, I started to realize how huge Jada castings are. It was one of the first times I'd ever gotten a Jada, and these things are huge. This thing is a massive, it says it's 1/64 scale, but let me show you a Greenlight. So this is a Greenlight Ford Bronco, right? This is supposed to be 1/64 scale. Here's the Jada Ford Bronco. So basically the same model, and supposed to both be 1/64. I don't think so. I think the Jada is stretching it a little bit. So I don't know why Jada calls this 1/64 when it's obviously not. It's really more like a 1/50th scale, or almost looks like 1/43. Not quite big enough for 1/43, but I'm not sure if if the manufacturing regulations or whatever allow them to say this is 1/64. If there's like a size range that it can be within to classify as 1/64, maybe it helps them with merchandising and selling product. I don't really know, but I know that this is not 1/64 scale by any stretch. But it's still a really rad model. It's from the like I said, the For Sale series, which is a lot like the Johnny Lightning Projects in Progress, or the M2 Auto Project series, where these cars and trucks just look beat up and dusty and dirty. Look like they've been sitting out in the boneyard for a while. And I found this loose, so I grabbed it. I almost bought this in the package several years ago, but finding it loose was a lot of fun. The tires, wheels, and the base are all plastic, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's plastic, and which I don't mind too much because the detail is still pretty nice on this piece. So I'm happy to have this in the collection. It doesn't fit in the display case, so it's just going to have to sort of sit out on a shelf somewhere by itself, but I dig it, man. This is really cool, and don't mind it's a little bigger than my other castings, but a really cool series put out by Jada that you don't see very much anymore, that old Bronco there. Another piece that I got flea market is this one here. This is a Johnny Lightning 64 Dodge 330 Super Stock. This is from the Johnny Lightning 2.0 series, and again, when we talk about the different eras of Johnny Lightning, there were several different eras. The Playing Mantis era obviously was what's being revived and one of the earliest, and then this was Learning Curve. So they went from Playing Mantis to Learning Curve, and then I think RC2 had them for a while, and then Tomy bought the brand, and now it's back in the hands of what's called what is it, R2? What is it called? Round 2, I'm sorry. And those are the original guys who had the Playing Mantis era of Johnny Lightning. So it's back in really good hands, but I really enjoyed the Johnny Lightning 2.0 series because you still had metal on metal, super detailed cars. There was no compromise on the quality of the castings and detail, but the packaging was very minimal. You know, you just had this sort of little bitty card and a very simple blister. And it was nice because it would stand up. It has this extra plastic piece on the bottom, so you could display it standing up like that. But it just wasn't a whole lot of packaging. So for those of us that like to crack open our cars, this was great. I know a lot of you that keep stuff in the package prefer the nicer packaging or clamshell packaging, which is fine. But that was one of the things I loved about the 2.0 series, was minimal packaging but no compromise on the cars. When you came out to Tomy, they released a series with the smaller packaging called Forever 64, but that's when the cars started to get plastic bases and you started to see a little bit less detail paid attention to the cars. So it's interesting sort of history with Johnny Lightning to look at the different eras and the different packaging styles and the different wavering quality that were in the different cars. But anyway, I'm rambling on here. Here's the back of the package if you're interested from this particular piece, which I think was somewhere around 2010, I think, when this was released. And let's crack this open and set it free, shall we? Free the piece. And this one is really nice. Speaking of yellow, this has got a really nice yellow color, black details like a bumblebee. Got the Orange County Dodge dealers text on the side here. Getting up close, look at the details here. Got Davis headers, the Maverick. Get the Goodyear text right over the rear wheel well there. 730 SSA, and then on the back here, I think it says, let's just see if we can get up here. I can't even read that. Can you guys read that? Woo, I think that says Dodge, but I'm not for sure. And then let's look around the back. Nice painted taillights with the Dodge logo. Looks like the trunk opens, but it doesn't. I get a little arrow there, but that's just a logo right here on the back. See if I can get it up close so you can see that. And then the top stock Eliminator here on the trunk. The Bill Golden Maverick on the top. A little bit of a paint smudge here on the canopy, but it's got like a wine red interior. Look at this interior. Lots of nice sculpted details in the interior. There's a 4-seater, steering wheel, everything's red in there. Beautiful tires, nice Goodyear rubber tires with the chrome wheels in the back and then blacked out wheels in the front. Show you the metal base. Love these old metal bases, Johnny Lightning. See the detail on the base there. Really nice. Really cool piece, dig it. Look at that. Let's open the hood, see if there's anything underneath this 426 Hemi. And there is. Look at that. Very cool detail on the motor underneath the hood there. So digging the Maverick. There's even a hollowed out piece on the hood. Very nice for the air intake there. That's pretty cool. I've seen this piece a lot. Never seen it in person, so I was really happy to find this and grab it. Definitely going in the display case. In fact, let's put it up there now. Put it next to the Green Giant in the Sam Salvage. That looks pretty good. A couple more pieces. I stopped by Toys R Us today and found this piece. This is again from the Playing Mantis era, the Classic Gold collection, but this is the renewed Johnny Lightning, and I talked about this in the last video about how excited I was to see the golden era of Johnny Lightning back. So this is a new release, as you can see, a 2017 series release 1, but it's harkened back to the Classic Gold collection, which was part of the Playing Mantis era of Johnny Lightning. And you know what I love about it is they haven't tried to reinvent themselves. It's the good old Johnny Lightning logo. It's the really cool vintage artwork that's behind the car, and it just looks like Johnny Lightning is supposed to look. It's fantastic. And some of the new things they've added is like the Pantone color here to let you know exactly what color is being used, which is pretty cool. And I think they've been a little more organized about how they structure their releases. This is the 1974 Ford Grand Torino, which I just couldn't resist. I normally don't collect civilian models or driving off the lot kind of models, but I just couldn't pass this car up. It's a beautiful blue with Firestone rubber tires. So we're going to crack this open, but I just wanted to show you the beautiful package. I almost hate to crack it because this package is just fantastic. Love the card art on this. And then on the back here you have the Collector Club info and then some of the other cars that are in this particular release 1 of the Classic Gold 2017. Let's crack this open and take a look at the car up close. One last look at this beautiful package. But you know, I don't collect cardboard, so and I don't think this is too limited. It's one of 1256, so come on, there's 1250 more out there that are probably still in the package, right? Check it out. Beautiful Ford Gran Torino front end. Look at those headlights. Nice painted white. Got the Ford logo here on the hood. Show you up close. See, we wouldn't be able to do this unless we took it out of the package, so you can thank me later. Beautiful grill work here. Taking around to the side. These tires are what sold me. The Firestone steel belted radials. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful work on these tires. I think those are Krager wheels, right? Just hard to beat those on these old Johnny Lightning models. This really thin pinstripe on the side. This probably says Gran Torino right here. Just barely able to read that. It's tiny, tiny details. The interior is nice and black. You can see some texture on the seats. Little bit of detail in there, and then around to the back. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful tail lights with the Ford logo. Keyhole for the big old trunk. Very nice piece. Let's look at the base. And there you go, plain Mantis China. That is fantastic to see that back on the pegs in 2017 at a Toys R Us. So I just couldn't resist picking this piece up. There were so many more I could pick up, but this one just kept looking at me like, take me home. So here it is in the Joe Motor hood. So there's that. And then if you saw my Instagram today, you saw that I got lucky and found me a green machine. So Toys R Us delivered today, but it's not always the case, but they just happen to stock a new case, I guess, of this running on empty series, which I've already picked up a couple of pieces from it, so I wasn't expecting to find much. But right there in the back is this green machine of the 2012 Ford Shelby GT500 in the Gulf colors, which is pretty exciting. This is a pretty nice car. I normally don't collect the newer models of racing cars, but couldn't pass it up. This green machine, I think it's number 87. Yeah. So that's a fantastic piece. Really happy to find that, and a great way to start this weekend off. So I hope you enjoyed looking at some of these random pieces. Didn't know what else to do except kind of crack and yak while we look at them up close. But if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I've got quite a few videos coming up planned for the coming week or so, so hope you'll stay tuned. In the meantime, keep on motoring, guys, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.